Hello, this is HD Chambers with Alief ISD. Hope I find you today well, being safe and enjoying some of the nice weather before a tropical storm or a hurricane begins making its way towards us. Yeah, in addition to everything else we're dealing with, we have to deal with weather patterns out of the Gulf of Mexico. So, but we will deal with those accordingly, and I will speak to that here in just one second. My message today is relatively brief. I know that we are literally in our third week of school virtually with Alief Learns at Home, and I'm aware that there are some really good things happening, and I'm aware that there are some things that we can continue to improve upon. And in some cases, the virtual environment in which we have is just not conducive to the quality of education that we want to provide, or that you as a parent or student have come to expect from us. I know that, the board knows that, our leadership team is aware of that. I did want to spend just a second speaking a little bit to the question everyone asks is, when will we begin looking at returning to school for in-person learning, and under what conditions, or what will be your measuring posts to guide the district, both myself and the board and our leadership team as we contemplate that and make those decisions. But let me try to answer that, and I'm not going to give you a specific answer. So my apologies ahead of time. I'm not prepared to for a couple of reasons. But let me just give you some context. As I have mentioned, going all the way back to April and May, I have done my best, as has the board. We have together done our best to use science and data within our community, both the Alief community and within our school district, to draw from and to make decisions based upon. That's why we started virtual, because of just the significant community spread that we had in our community, as well as the number of positive cases that were happening within our zip codes. I have said this before, and I'll say it again. Of the top 5 zip codes with the most cases of positive COVID cases in the greater Houston area, 3 of those 5 are in our school district: 77099, 77036, and 77072. They're in the heart of Alief. And so I can't ignore that, nor can the board. None of us can ignore that. And I'll continue to work as best I can to get the word out for our community, not just our school system, but our community, to practice good, safe protocols, so that we can drive those numbers down as we move forward. As you all know, we have had many positive cases of employees in Alief. We have had people pass away as a result of COVID, employees lose their lives over this. And all of that weighs on me and the board and the decisions that we make. However, there is science that we also have to refer to as we begin thinking about what coming back to school might look like in person. So we are having these conversations internally, and have been, because we know we're not going to be in this environment forever. I'll assure you of that. But we have been talking about what might in-person school look like, and what might the phasing in process look like. And we're going to begin talking to our board about that in the upcoming weeks. You'll hear more from me, and you'll see more from me as we look at those ideas and those possibilities and those options. But we're going to base that in large part. We're going to base those decisions on science, and how we best can utilize the data that's real, that we can trust, that's reliable, and that doesn't put anyone in unnecessary harm. So I know there are many of you staff members. I'll talk to you for 1 second. I know there's many of you that simply want your kids back in school. You want to be back in school. There's many of you that may disagree. I'm sure there are. I've heard from you that disagree with that we're 100% virtual. And to your argument that this is not in the best interest of students academically, I would not disagree with you. I would agree with you that that is the case. Um, but but as I mentioned, I'm basing these decisions on the health and the science data that I have in front of me, and will continue to do so. I also know there are staff members who think just the opposite, who are not ready to come back, who do not think it's safe to come back. And I'm not saying either one of these groups of staff members are wrong or they're right. Um, but in order for me to get to a decision that I can feel comfortable with and that the board can feel comfortable with, um, we're going to have to rely on the science that's given to us. So we're going to keep working with our local county health officials. We're going to be working with the Texas Medical Center health officials. We are in communication with them weekly, and we are working as we speak right now, literally as we speak today. We're working to create a document or a metric that we will share with our board, obviously first, but we will share with the community, our staff, and our kids and our parents, of course, on what are the data points we're looking at? What are the metrics we're looking at? Is it positivity rates, the number of positive cases in our community and across the region? Is it the percent of positive tests that come back in our community and in our region? There's other metrics that our local health officials, as well as our medical center officials, are asking us to consider and include in this decision making. But and we will do that. But I guess my overall message to you is that we are not making these decisions by ourselves. I know the governor has come out on multiple occasions and said these decisions need to be made by local school boards and superintendents, and I appreciate that local control. But a part of the local control that I am accessing is also our local health officials to help make that local decision. And so we will be communicating with you in the very near future, both you parents, staff members, about our next step of plans, if you will, for looking at reopening, and then what are the data points and what are the health conditions that we're going to be monitoring, that everyone can agree upon, everyone in the health field can agree upon. So that's where we are right now. So stay tuned. We are going to begin looking at how we can do this in a very safe and secure way, as soon as possible. I hope that helps a little bit. Again, as I mentioned, I know there's some of you that 100% disagree with that, and there's some of you that 100% agree with it. And I don't know what to tell either one of you on depending on where you land on that. But other than to say, I'm using science and data to the best of our ability. So with that, I just want to encourage every one of you to practice safe measures with social distancing and masking. It works. The county numbers and the city of Houston numbers are trending downward, which is a good thing. The problem is they were so high, it's going to take a while for them to trend downward enough to get to a point where people are I say people, health officials are comfortable. But we're on our way. So I encourage you to continue with that. Labor Day is coming up. Please be smart. Please be smart about Labor Day and what you do with your family and your friends. It literally, this is the type of behavior. These are the types of things that are going to allow us to come back to school in person sooner than later if we do it right. The royal we, including me. So with that, that's really all I had to share on where we are with Alief Learns and moving forward. Alief Learns at home and where we are moving forward. I want to remind everyone, if you know a parent of a 4-year-old, we are offering pre-K. We have not heard from all of our 4-year-old parents and our 4-year-old pre-K students, so we're continuing to do outreach, any way we can. So please let them know that we're providing a meaningful education for our 4-year-olds. And then last, as I mentioned earlier, there's a storm that's being tracked towards the upper Gulf Coast, the Houston area, Southeast Texas area, the Beaumont Golden Triangle area. Based on our best information that's being given to us by I keep saying health officials, our weather officials, we should start seeing the impact of that in the greater Houston area sometime Monday evening, Monday night, over Monday night and into Tuesday morning. So make sure you're safe with your belongings outside. Make sure that you've done everything you can do to prepare for this tropical storm or hurricane, depending on if it turns into a hurricane. So yeah, not only do we have COVID-19 to deal with, but we're going to have a tropical storm and a potential hurricane to deal with as well. But please be prepared. Please be prepared. With that, thank you. Appreciate your support. God bless every one of you, and I will talk to you soon.